everybody, Dr. Matt here with another Tennant Hair tutorial, and today I'm going to be talking about the Doomsday hairstyle. So this one's great for when your hair is a little bit on the longer side. It's not really so much spiky, and it's more kind of like a over to the side type of thing, and the top kind of stays a little bit lower. So as you can see, my hair is already dry and straightened. I know you guys know the drill by now as far as like washing it first, drying it, straightening it, blah blah blah. So today we're just going to skip right ahead to the styling part. I do want to mention quickly though, while my hair is on the longer side, I have been using a blow dryer a little bit straight out of the shower, especially on the sides, because since obviously it's tough to straighten that because that's still shorter than this area. But if I don't straighten it somehow, it gets to be kind of poofy, so the hair dryer kind of helps to semi-straighten it and keep it a little bit flatter. So getting right into the styling, we're going to use the mix that I was talking about in the end of time video. So we're going to use mostly the hair concrete with a little bit of the pomade for some wet look. So I found with this hairstyle the hardest part is actually just getting the right ratio of product, because I have had a few goes at it where I just have way too much product in it and it just falls over and it needs constant fixing throughout the day, which is unfortunate. So that's the tough part. So I'm going to start out here with a pretty decent fingerful of hair concrete and about half as much pomade. So I'll get that warmed up and work that in. It feels like it should be probably enough. So this style is mostly happening in the front. The back half of your hair is really going to be pretty flat. So most of this product is going to end up being in the front here. Now this hairstyle is actually one of the more simple ones if you don't have annoying cowlicks like I do. So for me, this one's actually a little bit tricky to get it to sit right because of where my cowlicks are in the front. But hopefully most of you won't have that issue. So it seems like I probably have enough hair concrete for the hold, and I'm just going to add a little bit more pomade because this area here still feels pretty dry. So just a little bit in the fingertips. Okay, so I think that's probably pretty good. So we're going to be using the medium tooth comb quite a bit for this style. Just comb the sides down just to get them a little bit neater right now. And if you notice, I'm going to put up a few shots here. You can actually kind of see the back half is basically like almost totally flat and just combed like straight forward. So I'm just going to start doing that there. Okay, so now here the front. What I'm going to do, there's not totally a side part in this one. It kind of comes out slightly because what we're actually going to do is use the comb kind of like we did for the Barefoot on the Moon style, where we're going to come down and kind of swoop up and over like this. Because there are sections of the episode where that is really the only part of his hair that's standing up. So in doing that, you'll get a little bit of a side part happening, but not much. So now I'm going to use my hand to like kind of just, you're almost kneading, just to get the comb lines away and have it look a little bit more textured. So this actually just kind of came out pretty decent in the front. It normally doesn't do that. Normally it's really kind of a pain in the ass, but this actually came out okay. So at this point, you may or may not need to use the comb in the front. Usually what I have to do here is just kind of comb the front straight over to the right side a bit. And then kind of pick at it a little bit to get some of that textured PC look in the front. The tricky part is that really when you see the right side, he doesn't have like a bunch of hair hanging out like that. So that's the tricky area, especially for me because I have a tremendously annoying cowlick right there. So what I usually do for the right side, I kind of go for the wispy look, and I use that to keep this section of hair just kind of straight up into the center of that little quiff there. Because otherwise that whole section of hair, the cowlick, just makes it fall straight down and then it looks rubbish. So that's, for me, that's really the trickiest part. Hopefully you won't have that issue. But this is actually looking surprisingly good for just a couple of comb-throughs. Okay, so at this point I'm going to try and fix the sides a little bit because throughout that episode he doesn't really have a whole lot of wisps happening. The sides are pretty kind of combed down and clean. And all the hanging bits of fringe are right in the front. So the main thing that you want to achieve here is this front section that is kind of combed over to the side but not totally just mushed over. It's kind of strange to try to explain it properly, but if you look at some of these photos you get the idea. And there are a few strands that do tend to come down in the middle, which is good. That's what you want. This spot for me is the other trouble spot because that's where my other annoying cowlick is. So for me, that's something to deal with. So I could nitpick at this forever, really, just to get it exactly the way that I want. But I think all things considered, this came out pretty good. And so the way that you can kind of tell is if you turn to your left and you look at the front. When you see shots of him in the episode like that, you can kind of see this happening, which is where the comb over, like from the left to the right, hits the center, and you can kind of see where it hits this side that's going straight forward. And then when you look at it straight on, hopefully the lighting is okay in here, and you can see the overall comb over shape with just a little bit of lift in the front with a little bit of that swooping comb action. So I have to say I'm pretty happy with how this turned out for my first go. I was assuming it was going to come out totally rubbish and I was going to have to do this video over about 6 times because that's how my hair has been lately. I think just because it's really long and shaggy now and I'm really due for a haircut, but that's why I wanted to do this video first, because your hair does need to be quite long for this style. And you can see in the episode too, even the back of his hair is pretty long. So, but that's probably why it's less spiky than others, because I mean it's pretty long, so it's tough for it to actually kind of stand up and be spiking out everywhere. But I have to say, I think we're in pretty good shape. So hopefully this wasn't one of the more boring videos for you. It was pretty short, but it came out pretty good, I think. So let me know what you think. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope it was helpful.